In about 10 years altogether. I did 6 years active duty and then 4 years active reserves. So I spent my time at USS McCampbell DDG 85. That's a destroyer for people who don't know. And then I was also at Fax San Diego Fleet. Actually, it's a surveillance area where it's kind of where they have the radars monitoring the seas. Then I was at USS Nimitz CVN 68.
We chillin', get high.
Shit crazy. Smoke to get my mind right. Chillin'. Trying to get my grind right.
What's up, guys? Sergeant G here from the Stone Vet USMC. Happy Friday, guys. The end of the week has come. If you work some 9-to-5 job like me and Len here, it's the Friday. We enjoying the week. We're getting ready to enjoy the weekend. That's why I do this show every Friday, right? Because you know what it was like when we were serving active duty. Friday come around and then you go hang out, right? Who's grilling tonight? Where's the liquor at tonight?
The difference between Friday civilian world and active duty world is Friday's a half day, right?
Half day?
In the military. When you're in the military, Friday's a half day. But like for us, we actually gotta work hours the whole day.
Hours, the whole
and
9 hours.
Well, however long it is, and then you get to enjoy your Friday.
Right.
It's not like National Military Half Day.
Half day, right?
You know
National
what I'm
Military
saying?
half day.
But,
And, and the great part is that Len here. So let me introduce Len. Introduce Len, guys. If you guys don't already know, if you're part of the BTT family, you guys know who Len is. She does Throat Punch Mondays. Len here spent some time in the Navy. It's my sister, right? Department of the Navy, right?
Yep. Department of the Navy.
So what happens here is that I thought it'd be an honor. Len lives close. I was like, wow, you're right up the street. I mean, us veteran community, you guys know that we always have brothers and sisters all over the country. Anywhere we're at, guarantee you there's your brother, your sister to your left or to your right, you know? I classify brothers and sisters, it don't matter what branch of service you serve in. I really don't care. We all signed that dotted line, we both said,
True.
I got your six, dude.
Right.
If you're going in the field, you gotta go take a crap or whatever the case may be, I got you, dude, go. I got you. Nobody gonna come up behind you and take you out, you know?
We all take that same oath.
We all signed up, we raise our right hand, take that oath and say, yeah, defend the enemies, foreign and domestic, right? There's been a lot of domestic enemies lately, but I mean, we can't do anything yet. Not yet. Martial law hasn't taken effect yet, you know? And so, I have the honor of bringing on Len here. Len's a Navy sister, did some time in the Navy, and now she's here in Oklahoma, dude. Go figure that, right? Told you Oklahoma's a great place to be. I'm telling you guys, it's a great place to be. I love it, dude. I get everything.
Yeah,
I get my cannabis. I get my guns. What else do I get? Man, the taxes are cheap here. Property taxes are cheap.
Yeah,
it's
that's
cheap
not bad.
to live in Oklahoma as opposed to California, New York.
That's true. That's
You
true.
know,
Definitely,
Florida,
the cost
you
of
know.
living is definitely a lot better.
A lot better here. It's a lot easier to live here. Especially bringing in a lot of money. It's a lot easier to live here, you know. How you doing, Len? It's Friday. How you enjoying your Friday?
I'm doing good. It's Friday. I'm ready to just kick back and relax. You know,
Right.
long week at work. So, you know, we work. I work for the government, Department of Homeland Security, and so it's always something going on. It's always busy, and we start the day super early.
Super early.
Like 6 a.m.
Oh.
And some days, you know, it's 10-hour days. Some days it's less. But when Friday comes around, we're all ready to go.
It's her fault, guys. She's the one that deals with green cards. You need a
Hey.
green card? That's what you call.
So I'm.
So she works long days. See, I work
Yeah.
for the Air Force, which is like the worst branch ever. I'm just saying, dude. I
So,
work there every
Do
day.
you guys just sit on your butts all day on the chair?
All day.
All day. So it's true what they say about the chair force.
It's true about the chair force. And that's what I tell people. I said what sucks about the chair force is that they don't abide by their own rules and regulations. So I work for the largest organization in the entire Air Force.
Yeah.
The largest. I have the most people in the entire Air Force. They work for me. Over 10,000 plus employees work where I'm at. And it sucks because the rules over here, from headquarters Air Force to material command to sustainment center, all the rules are different. And so, you know, like in the Navy, if it's anything like the Marine Corps, when they come out with an order
Right.
or something, it's across everybody better obey this order. And the Air Force is not like that.
Right.
And the Air Force is not like that. They say, okay, here's the original, and it has been deviated throughout the ranks, throughout the units, and they only, okay, we're gonna do this piece.
So it's a suggestion.
It's a suggestion.
Like, I'll follow this if I feel like it, but today it's gonna be a no.
Right, yeah, today,
Right.
yeah. And so I was like, this is ridiculous. All right, guys, you know, it sucks.
I also noticed the military bearing's not really there.
There
Like,
is none.
They're just, it's literally like working in a corporate office.
Yes.
They call each other by first names.
Yes.
If their commander is speaking, everyone else is talking. Nobody
listens.
They don't
Nobody
listen. Nobody
stops
like
and
pops
listens.
to at attention. They don't care. Like, and I'm like, wow, what the? This is like,
It's
like the
crazy.
Twilight Zone.
It is.
I was like,
It
is
is.
this really happening? I remember I went to a command function one time, and it was a winter party. It was Christmas party, and then the CO starts talking. Nobody shut up. Everyone was still mingling and laughing and hoo-hawing and high-fiving and taking shots. And I'm like, dude, your CO's talking.
They don't care.
What is,
They
no
don't
bearing,
care.
nothing.
No
They don't
bearing at all.
care.
It sucks.
And they were just chilling. And the CO was fine with it. He was fine. Like, I felt like it was, coming from the Navy and on ships. I felt like that's pretty disrespectful. Like,
Right.
you didn't even.
But rank don't
Yeah.
mean nothing in the Air
I
Force.
guess
Rank
not,
does not
no.
mean it. Don't matter how high. I'm an enlisted guy. I was
Yeah.
enlisted in the Marine Corps. In the Marine Corps, rank was everything. You are a sergeant, you are a staff sergeant, gunny, first sergeant, and so forth. You are your rank, which means because you
Oh, yeah,
worked hard
for
for
sure,
it.
yeah.
You worked hard for your rank, and you're going to be addressed by your rank. But in the Air Force,
Yeah.
nah. I was like, you guys have to take tests and stuff. Like, you guys work hard for your stuff, but you
Yeah.
just don't care, do you? You just don't care. I mean, dang, you
No.
gonna call me by
No.
my rank, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
You gonna call me by
Well,
my
I
rank.
remember when we were in Hawaii in Kaneohe, and I remember even going to the commissary or going to like the mini exchange or the mini next.
Right.
And people would correct, the Marines would correct young Marines of how they were dressing, and Marines would just pop to their military bearing is on point.
On point,
for
right?
sure. Because I
On
was like,
point.
wow. So I have a funny story. We have one of our good friends, and we were stationed with him. He's Navy.
Navy.
And so he came in PT gear to the commissary, and they were like, okay, well, you can't wear PT gear to the commissary. So this guy turns around, goes home, and puts on a tuxedo. He's like, all right, y'all want me to dress up? Well, I'm going to put on.
dress
He
up.
walks in with a tuxedo. You know what I'm saying?
That's just how it is. We are some. We
That
do.
was like-
We are some characters when it
That's
comes to stuff like that.
That's like on the movie Step Brothers, right?
Oh,
When
yeah,
they're like
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
tuxedos to their janitor interviews.
You gotta dress for the part, right? That's what they
Yeah.
always say. You gotta dress for the part, man.
Tuxedo to the commissary. All right. You guys want me to dress
All right,
up? All right, I got you.
So you spent some time in the Navy, right? You spent some time. You said 10 years, like
Yeah,
you
I did
went-
10 years.
You did 10.
I did
You-
6 active duty and 4 active reserves.
Jesus,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So most of my time was on a ship.
On a ship.
And I am very proud of my service because, we did back-to-back deployments on a ship. West Pac, okay? And the Gulf of, the Persian Gulf. So this was during the early 2000s when it was popping. And we was actually doing stuff out there.
Right.
So, yeah, I did 4 deployments back-to-back on USS Nimitz CVN 68. So that's an aircraft carrier. And then before that, I was on USS McCampbell DDG 85. So I was on a destroyer, what we call small boys. And then on the aircraft carrier, where I had a taste of having Marines on our ship, eating up all the food. All they do is wrestle in the hangar bay.
That's all we can do on
They
the
wrestle in the
ship.
hangar bay and they eat up all the food. When a new CD came out, it sold out because they ain't got nothing to do but go to the ship store. So,
But when Marines on
Yeah.
the ship, we don't work. Like seriously, we don't do anything because we're waiting to get to port so we can go to
Right.
work, so we can do our work. So when we on a ship, we ain't got nothing else to do but to jack with the Navy.
right,
We
unless
got-
they unless y'all had like temporary assignments, because I know some were like worked in the air department or Airedale or supplies, so some Marines would do that. But most of the time, Marines, all they did was wrestle. MMA, UFC fights, you see them all wrestling, male, female, don't matter. And eating crayons in the corner, so
So that's what I mean. That's what we do on a ship. We have to keep ourselves entertained. You know, it's like they always say. My wife says it the best. She's like, you guys are like wild animals when it comes down to doing things. And I was like, I mean, it's true. I mean, when we on a ship, Marines, jarheads, you guys know, when we on a ship, we don't have a job. We don't do anything. We roll over, wake up.
Yeah.
You know, we'll shower or whatever, brush our teeth, go get some chow, then sit around. We either play spades, or if you got the new game that came out from freaking Broken Jawhead, what the hell's that name game called? You got a new card game that came out. It's freaking hilarious. But I mean, it's because he got tired of playing spades, because you can only play spades so much on the ship. You can only play spades so much, you know. With dominoes, you break the bones out. You can only play so much, you know. And it gets tired and it gets boring, and then so what do? We got to earn our martial arts belt. Right. We got the Marine Corps. We have martial arts belts. We like karate. We like the karate. When you go to the dojos, they give you belts and stuff. Yeah. We got the same thing in the Marine Corps. You know, we got the same thing. So you got to train. And what better way to train than when you're on a ship and you ain't got nothing else to do? Might as well get you up as high as we can, get you trained up so you can get your next belt so it can help towards promotion. Because this is what everything's out. Even as a civilian, as a military, it's all about getting promoted so you can make more money, right? Yeah. And so that's one of the things. I mean, none of us Marines, we don't like to read, dude. We got MCIs and all that shit. We don't like to read.
They got coloring books.
We got coloring books. We got stuff we got to train and read on. You know? No. And so you did some deployments. I guess you were popping it off back when the war kicked off, right? Early 2000s. I was out there in 03. I was in the sandbox in 03 and again in 05. And
we did my first deployment was a traditional 6-month deployment, and then the next one then the next 3 months after that, every time we had steak and lobster at the end of deployment. Now anybody who's been on a ship and in the Navy knows what that means. We had gotten extended. So the longest extension, I did a 6-month, 8-month, 8-month, and a 10-month one. So yeah. And then one of those was an unplanned deployment. It was called a surge because our captain was trying to make admiral or whatever it is, some political stuff. So he's like, okay, let me just go ahead and volunteer our ship because we're the death to go to the Persian Gulf, and so we did.
Of course, and that's how it always is. I mean, my last unit when I was in Hawaii, I think we changed our name like 3 or 4 different times. When it was time for me to EAS, I was like, they're like, what unit you did? I don't know. They changed it. They changed it to one, then they changed it back, then they changed it to a different one, and they changed it to the other one. And I was like, I lost track of who I belong to now. I don't even know. They're like, what do you mean? I said, some freaking colonel wanted his star, so we changed the unit's name to say it's more efficient to be called this, so we can get a star. And I was like, it's all politics, dude. It's all it always comes down to. It's like, who wants their star? Who's gonna get their star? You know, and it's just crazy when you see it.
I'm not gonna lie though, CVN 68, we called ourselves a 5-star aircraft carrier. We were lit. We were really good at what we did because we did it so much. Like when you're not out to sea and you're not deployed, you're constantly training. So you're still out to sea, but you're just not deployed. So you're out to sea for months at a time. Then you come back maybe for a few days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. Then you go back out to sea. So we were really good at what we did.
Oh man, that's too much time. That's too much time on the boat. You've been living out of sea bag forever. I bet when you were trying to come out, you're like, I got dressed at Joyce. I can stick my stuff at Joyce.
I remember when I first got back from one of my deployments. I sat at a stop sign, 4-way stop sign, and I was like, what do I do? And I was just sitting there. I didn't know, like, is there a light? Like, I was like, oh yeah, so I'm supposed to wait. And I was like going through this in my head, trying to remember, like, and then I remember like having anxiety over having to get groceries and actually having to pay bills. Because I'm like, man, I'm not used to this. This is weird, you know, because you're so used to being out to sea and deployed that everything's taken care of for you.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, that's one. I think that's one of the biggest struggles that we do have when we're deployed. Because some of us, I mean, in the Marine Corps, we'll deploy for 8 months or whatever the case may be, and then some of us will extend to. We'll piggyback off the next unit that comes out. So now you've been out there 8 months. Now you're gonna be out there 16 months because they got an 8-month deployment, you know. And sometimes, I mean, you got some crazy jarheads that will sit out there as long as they can, just because they're collecting all the tax-free money.
Tax-free money, yep.
You know, and so they out there doing that, and then like you said, when you come back, you're like, what the hell?
Don't know what to do
am I supposed to be doing at this light, or why am I at the stop sign? Like, what am I supposed to? You know, and then what makes it even worse for a lot of us, I mean, I know a lot of the struggles are when you're driving and you see crap on the side of the road and you're like, what the hell is that? What is that?
Yeah.
You know? You're like, oh, what is this? I don't even know what that is. You know, we all vigilant, super hyper vigilant and stuff like that. I mean, but after you guys do long deployments, I know the Army, them guys stay out there 18 months. Their only deployment will be 18 months. You're like, God.
Well, do you remember back then in the early 2000s, we used to do something called IAs. So they would like just pick and choose people involuntarily to go serve with the Army for a year at a time. But they were still attached to the ship, but then they would leave, go to Iraq or go to Afghanistan for a year at a time. So they did their deployment still, you know, in the sand right there in actions. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's crazy to see the things like that. I mean, there's some of the things that we do struggle with that we see on a daily basis, and so, you know, and hopefully, I mean, now that a lot of us are civilians now and are just sitting back and enjoying the time together, I mean, hopefully, a lot of it is like we can realize it and notice it before something does happen. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the struggles that we do have is trying to get people to understand why we think the way we think.
It's definitely an adjustment, especially if that's what you're used to day in and out. Like you dedicate pretty much, like for me, my job was around the clock, 24 hours. So it was a rotation. I didn't really have a sleep schedule. So like 23 hours of the day, you dedicate your life to actually doing your set schedule, and you know what you're supposed to do. You hear bells and whistles, and then you pop two. You know exactly what that means. You know, you go to GQ, Man of War, whatever it is. And then when you get out, it's definitely a big
transition. You know?
It's a big transition.
That's what I tell you guys. That's what I say on my show all the time. It's like the transition when you get out of the Navy. I don't know how it is for the Navy, but in the Marine Corps they give you a week-long class and say, okay, you're going to TAPS.
TAPS class.
You go to TAPS, and they give you a week to prepare you for a lifetime change.
Right.
You know, and you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
You don't really retain that information. They give you a small little booklet, and then all these people come in, and you're already short time syndrome. So you're like, whatever, I'm just trying to get out. Let me get my D214. You know, let me get out of here. So, I mean, they give you good information, but it's such a short amount of time
that you can't absorb it all, right?
Not
you know
at
what
all.
I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest things that I talk about. I said, because look, when you go to boot camp, however long your boot camp is, you know, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 13 weeks, whatever it is, you have that long, and they transition you to become whatever branch you're in, a soldier, Navy, Marine, whatever. But then, you know, you go to that, then you do your training after boot camp, and then you go to your MOS school, your tech school, whatever it is.
Right.
3 months, a year, whatever it is. And then you go to the fleet and learn your actual job, you know. So you got 4 years that they've trained you, they prepared you to become who you are for them to provide them a job. Because they got you into this job, they want you to do this job for the next 4 years.
Right, you sign that contract.
Right? You sign that contract and you're there doing this job for the next 4 years. And so you train. You learn from new things from being in the fleet. You learn things that they didn't teach you in school. But yeah, when it's time for you to end the contract, here's a week class. This is all you need so you can get out. You're like, whoa. I said, I don't know how to write a resume.
Right.
I don't know how to start my disability. I don't know how to look for jobs. I don't know anything because I've been doing this for 4 years.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people struggle because you can either do it 4 years, you do it 14 years, or you do it 40 years. That transition from military to civilian is a freaking flip because you have no idea what you're doing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, and that's what I try to tell people. I'm like, when you was in service, I said, you got PTSD because when you went in, you were a different person than when you graduated boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You are now department of whatever now. You are no longer you're no longer John, you're no longer Len, you know.
You now
you,
GI.
You are GI now, right?
Right.
I was like, so your mind is different now. You've got PTSD now because you aren't who you were before.
Correct.
You know? Mm-hmm. And so that's what a lot of people are like, well, you know, I can relate to that because now you're completely different. You are not the same person you were. I went in when I was 17. I was a kid. I was a minor when I joined. You know, I was 17. My mom signed it and said, yeah, you can go. Yeah. And got me out of the house. You know, and I was like, all right, well. That's why I tell you, I said the Marine Corps is my mama and my daddy, dude. They brought me up.
You got raised in the military.
In the military,
exactly.
Right?
I always say that I grew up in the military.
Yeah.
because you joined at such a young age. You're formidable. So you're the way they shape and form you and mold you to the way that you're supposed to be.
Right.
And so that's who you become.
Yeah, I didn't have enough time to learn who I was.
Right.
Like some people that join, they'll join when they're 26, 28 years old, and you're like, oh, they've lived life a little while. You know what I'm saying? They lived 10 years. They turned 18. They had 10 years of life they had to live. They got to live and figure out who they are and what life was before they joined the military.
I joined at 19, and even then, when I joined, people were like, "Oh, so you lived your life a little bit?" Because like I was around people who were 17 and 18 that joined, and they're like, "Oh, so you lived your life a little." I was 19 years old when I joined, but yeah, I remember when I got out, and the first thing I did was go to the VA.
Yeah.
So the doctor asked me, "Well, why are you here?" And I said, "Well, I thought this is what I'm supposed to do, right?"
Right. I got out. This is what I'm supposed to do.
This is what I'm supposed to do, right? And they're like, okay. So then they just start interviewing me and whatnot. And this is 10 years ago when I got out of active duty. Because then I joined the active reserves after that. But when I looked at my medical notes, literally, she wrote down, "Why is patient here?" Because I was told I had to be here. That was exactly what it said on my notes at the VA.
It sucks, dude. It sucks. It sucks, you know. But that is one of the struggles that we do have when we get out. Hey, we're told go get your disability check because you broke yourself, you know. And it's a struggle. So you know what I'm saying. I got blessed. Just this year, I was able to get my 100% disability.
What? Me too. Hey.
I fought. You know, I fought it for 11 years. But you know what I'm saying. I got hooked up with the right VSOs, and everybody helped me out and got me where I needed to be. You know. And because I was seeing all these veterans that said, I finally got my 100, And I was like, dang, dude, you know, some of them, it's taking them 20, 30 years to get it, you know, and it's a struggle, you know.
But they don't teach you what to do because when you get out, well, okay, go to the VA, get your disability, but how? Like, how is the process? What exactly is the process? And as the years gone by, we just had to learn on our own.
Right?
I did everything on my own, but I did all this research, and I feel like there's no way that I would have been able to do this when I was 25 years old.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because now I'm in my late 30s. I'm going to say how old I am. But my dad's prior service also, he retired after 22 years in the Navy, and I remember he was nagging me all the time, get your disability, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Dad, okay, I'm going to get my disability, but you're not telling me how what do you even mean? And so once I figured out, you know, I actually got a magnifying glass and went through my whole entire service record. I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and highlight. And it took a long time, a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work, yes.
And finally got it couple weeks ago, actually.
Really?
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago.
Awesome.
So
that's freaking
I
awesome.
was on it for about 18 months, I would say. I started off at 20%.
Yeah.
Then I got up to 60%. And then I got up to 70 and then 90. And then now I'm at 100. But I kept refiling. Like I didn't quit. I was like, okay, let me just keep going.
And it's hard, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it sucks because you earned it. You earned your disability. Right. You served. You earned it, right? And you see all these people out there. Well, if you pay me a fee, I'll help you. Why do I gotta pay you for something?
Exactly.
You know
I'm not paying.
And I get discouraged when I see these people. And some of them are veterans. They're like, well, if you pay me, like, why you can't take it out of your, you know, like we're brothers. You know, you're my brother, you're my sister. You can't just help me, like I mean,
right?
Because you know the lingo, you know how to write, and. You know, I got hooked up. I'm associated with the disgruntled vets and stuff like that. And one of the moderators live in Yukon. He lives here in Yukon, so we're not far. And so we got linked up, and he actually hooked me up with the VSO that was working with disgruntled vets, and he's out of Maine. And he hooked me up. He got me up to 90. And I was like, sweet, dude. He's like, damn, you didn't get your 100? He's like, what'd you tell him? I said, I told him what you told me. He's like, you didn't tell it right. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you know, but he's like, but he resigned, and he's like, find a VSO there in your area.
Yeah.
Find a VSO. So I found, I got in contact with another brother of mine. He's a retired Air Force. He's down in San Antonio right now. And I was like, hey, you said you got a buddy that works here, right? He's like, yeah. He said, I don't know if he works there still, though. I think he may have moved on. And I said, okay. And he said, call him, though. Call him and see if he's there. So I called up and I said, no, he don't work here anymore. I said, okay. Well, I need a VSO. Can you guys hook me up with a VSO? And they hooked me up with an Army guy that was 100% disabled, you know. And he put me in. He said, he looked at my American. He's like, let's try this one. Let's see if we can get you for this one because you already got a bad back anyways.
Right.
Let's see if we can get you in for something else on your back. I said, okay. So he put me in, and I said, sure enough, the first one he put me in for, 100%.
There you
I was
go.
like, sweet. I was like, yes, finally.
Yeah, right.
I was like, finally. But I was like, you see organizations say, yeah, we can get you 100%, but it's going to cost you this.
Right.
Or an attorney will get, I'm going to charge you this much. I was like, I was like,
I'm
no.
not
I
gonna
said,
pay
because
no
I can do it.
percentage, right.
I can do it.
You can do it on your own. It's just a matter of doing it.
It's finding the right people to do it. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. Some organizations like the DAV, they got crappy people that work for them, and you're just like,
Yeah.
why are you even here, dude? Like, why do you even do this job if you don't like it? Like,
Right.
why, you don't want to help vets? Like, why
even do
why
that?
even do it? Why
Yeah.
even do this job? Which sucks. And so, but there are good VSOs out
Right.
there that will help you, and they'll look over your medical record and they say, okay, this is how we're going to word it. We're going to word it this way. Why? Because that's their job. That's what they do for a living. That's what the government
Right,
pays
exactly.
them for.
Exactly.
Is sit there and look at your medical record and,
And
say,
word
hey,
it the
this
way
is
it's
where
supposed to
this
word.
is where it's
The
this
words
word-
that they're looking for at the VA, because
Yeah.
there's certain catch for phrases.
just
But
certain things. Yeah.
If you look at the CFR 38, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's CFR 38, it'll tell you exactly at this percentage is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you, one of the best advice that I actually got me started to work on my stuff again was from a random veteran in the parking lot of Lowe's. I'm loading material, right? So I used to do home renovations and remodeling as a side project.
Oh, wow.
I did that on the side, and especially during the height of the pandemic when we were everyone was in quarantine.
Quarantine, right.
So everyone was going to Home Depot and Lowe's doing all that stuff. So I'm loading lumber in the back of the truck. I'm wearing
Before
my
the
We would like to give a huge thanks to Rafa 180. Rafa 180 offers pure medicinal CBD and products made locally. They walk alongside individuals to achieve a healthy lifestyle with options needed by each person. You can learn more about them on Facebook at Rafa CBD, their website www.rafa180.com, or email at rafacbd@gmail.com. They truly believe your journey matters.
price went up.
Before the price went up. Oh, yes, indeed.
Before the price went
so I'm
up.
wearing my veteran hat, right? It says U.S. Navy veteran, whatever. I'm looking all veteran and I'm working and stuff. And this guy goes up to me. He goes, yeah. So you in the Navy? I goes, yeah, I was. He goes, oh, okay. What ship were you on? I'm like, I was on the Nimitz. Oh, I was on the Nimitz too. I was like, what? What years? Oh, I was in the same years too. You know, there's 5,000 people on the aircraft carrier, so you're not gonna know everybody.
You're not gonna know everybody.
But he was like, oh yeah, shit, man. So have you worked on your disability? I was like, nah. He's like, well, do you have this? I said, yeah, but I'm at 0%. He goes, all right, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna say da 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 da. You're gonna go to the doctor. You're gonna request this, and you're gonna write some letters. And that's going to get you up, I guarantee you. And I was like, all right, bet, I'm going to do it. Right. So then I actually did it, and it worked.
Ain't that
from
crazy?
A random person that I was on the ship with. Like,
ain't that crazy?
From a random veteran. So I actually did everything on my own. I actually went to VSOs. I actually asked the DAV to come help, but they didn't really help.
Really?
Yeah, no, I did everything on my own. So I'm already well versed in researching laws and regulations because of my job.
Yeah.
And so since I know how to do that, I was doing all that on my own with the VA and did everything by myself. But the thing that kickstarted me was that veteran, a brother helping another sister out. You know what I mean?
That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. That's why I love doing the show, because like I said, it's all about helping people out. You know, like you say, you was on the Nimitz, and whoever watches the show, I'm like, I was on the Nimitz. What are you doing now? You do your own podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I teamed up with some girls, and we do our own show. You know, and like, that's
right.
what it's about. It's about helping each other out, because, like I said, nobody's going to help us.
Right, exactly.
We can only help each other because we understand where each other are coming from.
Right.
What walks of life we're coming from. What are we struggling with? What are we dealing with on a regular basis?
Exactly. We're the only ones that could relate to each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying the only ones, because there are fields out there that could kind of relate,
Yeah.
like oil field industry and whatever. But the military, we have our own camaraderie there. Like, we have our own, like, it's like our fraternity, sorority.
Right.
We all,
right.
like, brother and sister. So.
Absolutely, you know, and that's just one of the things that it's just like it's a struggle for brothers and sisters. Like, I mean, some of them. I mean, we're shooting the show right now, and we have a brother or sister taking their life, and
Right.
it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Right now, they're saying it's an average of 22. I had Lee on a couple weeks ago, and he's with Reveille Bridge. He owns a nonprofit here, and he's like the only reason they get that statistic of 22 a day is the veterans that actually go to the VA. They don't actually know how many people. They're just saying, the people that are going to the VA that are
Right.
getting a disability, it's averaging 22. But he's like, you got to look outside of that people who don't get a disability check.
Most veterans don't go to the VA.
They don't go to the VA.
I didn't go to the VA for 10 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
yeah.
I mean, if you didn't go, how many other people aren't going? How many other people aren't collecting a disability check?
Right.
I just got my dad. My dad retired 20 years ago, and I just got him to start collecting a disability check because he was stubborn. He said, no, I don't want it. You don't
Right.
want the money you earned?
Right,
You earned
exactly.
it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that? That's the government paying you back for sacrificing your life for them
Right.
to go and serve, you know? And he's like, oh, well, I guess. And he got like 60%, but he won't go back to collect anymore. And I'm like, why? I said, you can get 100% just like me
Right,
because
right.
the crap you deal with. His PTSD's through the roof.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He wakes up in the middle of the night in the corner shaking. You know, he's one of those guys. But he's like, no, I don't want to. I don't. You know, you're just like, golly, come on, man.
That took my dad about
You know?
20 years, I think, to get his 100, but he has PTSD and all that. He's a Gulf War veteran, Desert Storm.
Uh-huh.
And even before that, he was around for Vietnam.
Oh man. So yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And then with the Agent Orange and everything that he has to deal with, you know, and it sucks, you know. But that's what I'm saying is that we have to be able to help each other out whenever we're in need. I mean, if you guys don't come over to Stone Vet and listen to my show, go check out other shows. You got Broken Podcast. He does some funny crap. The Basic Vet, he's got some funny stuff going. VTT,
VTT,
they
come
got
on
their
over.
own show. They got their own shows going.
We got our shows. We got the VTT Trash Talk Hour. We got Stone Vet. We got the Female Warrior Edition. We got Throat Punch Mondays. That's
Absolutely.
me. So yeah.
So
come
there's so
through.
many different podcasts out there that you can associate yourself. You don't like my voice, I understand. I don't like my voice either, but I'm here BSing, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is my therapy sessions. When I'm able to do this and bring other brothers and sisters on,
Right.
it's my therapy session because I get to hang out with people that can relate and understand the crap I'm dealing with.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
Which is great, you know, because this is the problem. That's what I tell everybody. This is what I explain in my group and everything is that we have to build our community around us. Nobody understands us better than our own people. You know, and it's like me and my wife were talking. I had Ryan. He's the guy going to replace my roof here. He's another jarhead, and he's like, we're cut from the same cloth, dude. Like we know, like we understand the struggles that we deal with on a daily basis. I mean, us vets trying to work with civilians, it's the worst, dude. Like trying to work with these
That is,
civilians, you're
yeah.
just like, I don't understand you. Like I don't understand why you're thinking the way you're thinking. I don't get it, you know?
Just the way that we talk also and handle things. I know when I first got out, I was really abrasive and crude and rude and just like talk mad and like said whatever came to my mind.
Right.
And so I knew that doing that in the civilian world is a no. Like,
No, you can't do that.
I made a girl cry. I was a branch manager in Kaneohe in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
And I said something to this girl. I was like, "You fucked up, you blah, blah, blah," and it was in her face, like yeah, blah, blah. And then she got up and she said, "I hate my boss and I hate my life. I hate it here." She stormed down, and started crying. I was like, "What just happened? What is wrong?" I just told her that she was messing up.
Right,
like, what's the
right,
problem?
right.
It's the truth. So then I had to step back and look at myself, like, okay. Maybe I shouldn't be speaking that way to people who work for me
Right.
in the civilian world.
Right.
You know?
Hey, it's
So,
a struggle, you know what I'm saying? I had Gunny on. He's writing a book, Born in a Bar. The Untold Stories of the Uncle Sam's Misguided Children.
Yeah.
He's got a book coming out. And he works for the Air Force too up in New Hampshire. And he's like, dude, he said I had somebody tell me, why do you think like that? And I'm like, what? Well, why you think the right way? Why are you thinking about what you're doing wrong and you shouldn't be doing it that way? Like, let me show you the right way to do it. And you know, and it upsets my wife. I've been with my wife for 21 years. I've been with her for 21 years. You know, ever since I joined the Marine Corps and still now. And she's like, you guys are some of the cockiest SOBs I've ever met. I was like, we not cocky,
Marines,
sweetheart.
yes.
I said, we not cocky. We confident. We know what we do. She's like, y'all are the cockiest SOBs. She's like, I hate all of y'all. Like, you guys are horrible. And I was like, hey, you know, it is what it is. And she's like, nah. She's like, but she loves Marines. She's like, I love Marines because we're all broken. Everybody, 90% of Marines who join are all broken. Like it's like I tell people, I said it's either go to jail or join the Marine Corps. Yeah. Half the people they didn't have both parents when they were growing up. You know, they were bad influences in school or whatever the case may be. And that's how my wife grew up. She didn't grow up, you know. Some people look at her and say, you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth. She's like, If you only knew. She grew up. She's so poor. She's like, I didn't have electricity at the time. I didn't know where my food. I didn't know where my meals were coming from. I didn't know anything. You know, she didn't have both her parents. You know, and she was in between her mom and her dad in the state. She was actually awarded to the state when she was like 14 years old, and she was just like, I don't.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's rough. She lived a rough life, you know, and she's like, I don't. And she's like, people would be like, you were fed with a silver spoon. She's like, shit, unless it was twisted and rusted up. And she's like, maybe, but you know, and she's like, I love Marines because it's true. A majority of us are broken, and a majority of us are trying to figure out life. You know, we joined the Marine Corps, and in the Marine Corps, I think we have the tightest camaraderie because, hell, man, they drill that to us in boot camp. Like, we sleeping together butt naked in the freaking foxhole. Like, it's cold as hell, and here we are. We got each other's back, you know. And I was like, and that's just the way we are. I guess that's why that's why people look at us like, you guys are freaking crazy. You guys just don't care. You guys do whatever you want. It's honest, true. Yeah, we do. We take care of each other. We make sure each other take care of, and we got the necessities we need, you know. And so that's what we try to instill in every branch that we associate with. It's like, hey, dude, what do you need? You need something? I got something for you. I can help you, you know. You know, I try to push out the nonprofits that I know, like Tackle 22 down in Georgia, Battle 22 out in Alabama. You know, there's a lot of nonprofits across the U.S. Like, I didn't even realize it, but there's over like 200,000 nonprofits in the U.S., veteran-owned nonprofits. Yeah. Which is insane, you know. I didn't even realize that. But that's why I say we have to build our community around us, around our area where we're at. You know, because I can't help you. If you're out in Washington, I can't help you because I don't know the area.
Correct.
But we have brothers and sisters that are in the area, that know the area, that could actually say, hey, I know this. Did you guys know about this nonprofit out here? You know, I got Jake with Rake Force. He's up in Washington, Oregon area. He's doing some amazing things. He's got his organization, Rake Force, going on right now. And they go through and clean out the forest and then do biochar, which is freaking amazing. Yeah, he's doing some awesome things up there as well, you know. But I love doing the show because I get to bring on great guests like yourself. I get to bring on great guests to the show that, you know, that I would have never met before the show, you know. And it's awesome because we're able to hang out and see that and know that we're here for each other now.
Exactly. You know? So I mean, I think not only just the Marines, but the Navy and any branch, what you try to do is you build up your sailor, you build up your Marine, you build up your soldier, and you want them to advance, you want them to do good in their career. So you kind of take that when you get out of the military, you take that with you, and you want to build other people up. So
Absolutely.
It's, you know, so it's like not just the Marines, but I know in my workplace right now, I have other veterans that work there, and I try to help them on what they're doing. And if they needed help with the VA, I'm like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. Matter of fact, me and one of my coworkers got 100 at the same time.
Woo!
At the same time, and it's like, and he did everything I told him to do. He did everything on his own, and he was like, "Man, I owe you so much." But I was like, "That's what we do. We help each other. If I see that there's an area that you need help in, and I have expertise in it, or I know something about it, or I know where to go, I'm gonna help you, and I'm gonna direct you towards that."
And that's what I tell people. I say, for me, I love when people reach out to me because I said, if I don't know it, I know somebody that does.
Correct.
I know somebody that knows it. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of people I talk to, and they do nonprofits. I say, oh, do you know Travis? No, I don't know who Travis is. Well, let me get you in connection with Travis because Travis will be able to show you what you need to do. You'll be able to guide you. I said his whole podcast, he has over 100 episodes, and then with all nonprofit people who run nonprofit organizations across the world. Not just the U.S., across the world, and how they're doing it, and how they're raising funds, especially during COVID, how they're still able to raise funds and meet their goals that they need to meet every month. Because that's a hard part. Being a nonprofit is asking people for money.
Especially during COVID.
Especially during COVID, asking people for money. It's kind of hard to ask somebody for money during COVID when everybody's struggling, right?
Right.
But they know how to do it, and they're still running their nonprofits. Did they probably take a little bit of a hit? Probably took a little bit of a hit.
Of course.
But they were still able to function. You know, they're still able to function, and that's what he does. He shows people how to do it. So I want to show you how to do it. Let me help you. Let me assist you with this, you know. And there's some great people. I mean, there's more nonprofits here in Oklahoma, and I got some ladies coming on. Hopefully this week I'll be able to bring them in and be able to talk to them as well and hang out with them. But I mean, it's the camaraderie. This is what's missed.
It really is.
This is what's missed is hanging out, sitting on the couch, sitting back, just shooting the crap, talking about our time in the military. It's what we miss. We get out, and that's one of the biggest struggles, you know. I've said it before. I mean, especially how they're saying we're losing 22 a day is a calculation of what they're coming up with, but they don't key in the opioid addiction. People
Or
are
the
dying from
alcoholism.
the people who are dying from opioid overdose is 30 veterans a day.
Right.
So 30 veterans on top of the 22 that they're calculating right now is 52 vets a day, right? And so that's so many an hour,
Way
right?
too high.
So many an hour. And it sucks because, you know what I'm saying? I say you got your own life. You have kids, you have a husband, you've got work. And it's hard. And that's what I tell people. I said, I got 7 kids and a wife. I said, it's hard. We have our own lives. We have things that we're doing. But you have to be able to pick up the phone and just
Right.
call somebody. Say, hey, dude, I was thinking about you today. How you doing? So make sure you're doing good. You know, will they lie to you? Probably. They'll probably lie to you and say, I'm doing good. You know, it's a lot of things. I mean, especially with men. We don't like to tell people we're hurting, we're in trouble, we're struggling right now. We don't like to. That's just us. It's our character, you know. But we have to, at least if somebody does call and pick up, like, wow, he was really thinking about me today, you know. That's one of the things that we struggle with. Is not reaching out to each other and say, hey, dude, how you doing today? I just want to reach out. I just want to see how you're doing. You know, and it's tough, especially when it's raining. I mean, in Oklahoma, it's going to be raining all freaking week. Like, I mean, it's going to be dreary, it's going to be crappy, and it sucks, you know?
That's
And-
when you can't really go outside and enjoy yourself.
Enjoy
So you're
yourself.
going to be inside stuck.
and
What
so
are you going to do?
and then you think, and then all the thoughts come back, and you get all these thoughts and all this crap, and it beats you up. But you can't let the demons win.
Right.
That's the biggest struggle, is that you can't let the demons.
You got to let
beat
the demons
You.
out.
You gotta let them out. You gotta figure out how to do it. Who do you got? Who are you hanging out with? I'm hanging out with Lynn today.
Right.
I got Lynn to come over and hang out with me and enjoy some time together. Who are you guys hanging out with? Who are you guys talking to? You know.
I mean, it's not even about just like calling somebody. Even right now, we have social media, so we're online, right? So we have our group, VTT, Veteran Trash Talk. Don't let the name fool you. We are there for a reason. Number one is to prevent the veteran suicide. Now, I saw another yesterday, actually, when the boys were doing their podcast. Somebody commented, "Well, what does this even have to do with preventing suicide?" Everything. So it's creating that camaraderie. It's creating that relationship. It's creating that, you know, that baseline where we all come from, that we all can relate to each other.
Right.
So it's creating those relationships. And with those relationships, it makes people comfortable to reach out, or just comfortable to just shoot the shit with
Right.
each other. So even shooting the shit, you might not know, but it could save somebody's life.
Right.
Just joking with them and just talking normal stuff, because it makes people feel like they are actually a person, like a human being.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, even if you're just online, reach out, or like come shoot the shit with us at VTT.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, that's the same thing. That's what I tell people. I said, man, I got my group over the Stone Vet USMC. I mean, I've got a great community there. A lot of people are just, we hang out, we talk, we lollygag. You know, if somebody needs help, if a family member's hurting, we're doing like GoFundMe's and stuff like that, because we're supposed to help each other. We're supposed to take care of each other. We all struggle. It sucks, but life is focused around money.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It sucks, but it does. I mean, your life, if you don't have enough money, it's hard to live a good life. It's hard to go get groceries. It's hard to fill up the gas tank. It's hard to go and do things if you don't have enough money. And being veterans, I mean, that's one of the struggles. It's like, how do I bring in money? You're used to getting your paycheck the 1st and 15th of every month, right? 1st and 15th, you get paid. Then you got medical and your dental. But once you get out, you ain't getting paid on the 1st and 15th anymore.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? You're not getting paid on the 1st and 15th. So you got to figure out what's an avenue that I can make money so I can ensure that I still get paid, you know? That's why what's great is that I've brought on a lot of people who started their own business. A lot of veterans start their own business because they don't want to work for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't like working for somebody else.
I don't either, but I do. I work for Uncle Sam still.
Still, right? I do too. I still work
You
too.
know,
And I was like,
so-
this sucks, dude. And I'm trying to teach my son, he's 16. I was like, you got to start a business, dude. Like, I'm telling you right now, you don't want to make somebody else rich.
Right.
You go to work to make somebody else rich. And you don't want to do that. I'm telling you now, don't do that, because why wouldn't you want to make yourself rich? You know? Like I said, there's a lot of veterans. I mean, you guys that are entrepreneurs doing your thing, you guys work every day, 7 days a week. I'm not saying you got an easy job, but you get to get up when you need it, when you want to get up. You go and do your job throughout the day, regardless if it ends at 4, it's good. If not, if it ends at 7, then it ends at 7. But you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for somebody else.
Especially if you're doing something that you love.
Right.
You know, your work ethic is going to be there.
Right.
Your motivation is going to be there. That's what you want to do. So as long as you have that, you know, you'll be able to make it fine. But a lot of us like where we're at now, we kind of make it look like it's easy. But it took us all these steps to get there. So a lot of failures or a lot of heartaches. and trying to figure out, okay, where do I actually need to be in life?
Right.
So it's not like it's going to come overnight. So don't expect it to come overnight. It took us, me and my husband, 10 years to get to where we're at today.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have my master's degree now. I used my GI Bill to my benefit. I got my BSBA, I got my master's degree. Now I'm using my other benefits to go try to get my PhD.
Right.
But it was a struggle. And there was a time where we did live in an apartment and we were scrounging for change so I could get a $2 check of bottle of wine and a pack of cigarettes, you know? So there was that time. Like, I still remember those days. So it keeps me humble knowing the fact that where I came from was, you know, it was nowhere where I am now.
Right,
and so it makes you more appreciative from all the hard work that you've done to get to where you're at today. So.
Absolutely. And that's what I tell you guys. Are you in a struggle? Are you at that point right now in your life where you're like, this sucks. I hate where I'm at. We've all been there. We've all had that struggle. Like, what am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to feed my kids? How am I going to pay for the rent, the mortgage? How am I going to do these things? It's hard. But if you guys ever reach out to the great people that I bring on, I guarantee you they can give you some ideas on, let me show you how I did it. Let me show you what I did to get out of that slump. Let me help you, you know, because you guys, that's one thing that the military has given us is perseverance. You have to keep pushing forward. How do you keep going? You put one foot in front of the other and you keep going.
You keep the mission at hand.
You keep it right in front and you say, okay,
focused.
This is what I got to do. What do I got to do to get to this point? You know, and it's like I tell people, I mean, it's like they tell you, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's how you eat a whole elephant. One bite at a time. That's all you can do. Put one foot in front of the other. So with your show, with Throat Punch Mondays, where do you see it going? What do you see? How you liking that with the other ladies?
So we just really barely started, and we recorded our first episode. We're going to be going live. We're going to be doing it the first Monday and third Monday of every month. First Monday will be a recorded show, and then the third Monday is going to be a live.
Ooh.
And so we want to kind of touch on things that women veterans go through and what women's service members go through as well. That's not really touched on, but we also want to, you know, highlight the good stuff and highlight why did it benefit us and why would it benefit other people who are thinking of it, and also highlight, you know, entrepreneurs and just going through the everyday struggles of what it's like to be a woman warrior, because definitely, you know, definitely males and females, you have different perspectives. You go through different things. Like, yes, we all take the same oath. We all go through, maybe we're at the same command. We have the same whatever. But our perspectives and what exactly our personal experiences might differ. So that's what our show is about.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I got some great guests that'd be great on your show. I got Callie at Oakwood Place. She's got some amazing things. I got Carrie at Soldier Girl Coffee. She got some great things. I mean,
yeah, we definitely want to highlight all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
But also touch on the, you know, like what, you know, the struggles and what's bad.
You
like,
females go through a lot. I've interviewed a few females on my show, and I'm like, I can't believe y'all went through all that crap while serving, you know. But it happens. It does happen. It's a man-dominated service. The military is ran by men. You know what I'm saying? It's ran by majority men.
We're just gonna say it straight up. It's a male.
It's a male
world.
Organization, right? And it sucks because you have to figure out, where do I stand? I mean, you got Leah on your show, and Leah is very much, no, I'm a woman, but this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is what I'm. This is how it's supposed to be done. You know, she stands her own.
Right.
I've had her on my show. You know, I've had her on my show, and watching her do with you guys. I mean, I know who she is, and she's a great person. I mean, she's doing amazing things as well. And I mean, to see you girls doing this to help be like raise awareness.
To raise awareness, yeah. Stand your ground.
Stand your ground, right?
Definitely be your own person, and don't let nobody tell you no. Don't let nobody tell you can't do something because of your gender or because of your identity, whatever you identify as these days, right? Don't let somebody tell you can't do something, you know. So just keep going, keep persevering, keep being you, be all you can be. Right,
absolutely. No, and it's tough, you know, and it's tough. But I mean, what you guys are doing over there is great, because I mean, even in the podcast world, you don't see a lot of female podcast hosts. Right. You know what I'm saying?
What makes us different also is that Leah is Army, Letha is Air Force, and then I'm Navy. So you get those three very different perspectives of female veterans in from different branches come together to talk about, you know, what
the different struggles, but then you can balance out and say, damn, it's like that there too. I thought it was just over here like that, you know. Which is great. I mean, it's great because you all three of y'all are together, doing it, able to host your own show, able to do the things that you're doing. It's raising awareness, you know, and bringing more people to watch, right? So that's what it's about. I mean, over at Veteran Trash Talk, like she said, they got Veteran Trash Talk Hour, where it's all the army dingbats over there. You gotta love those guys. I mean, but they're doing great things with the community. And then you got Throat Punch Mondays, and then you got Marine Corps Wednesdays with myself, the Stone Vet, RNG from the Stone Vet. Coming out every Wednesday, you know, and then my show every Friday you guys can catch up on, where I bring on, like I said, great entrepreneurs, great veterans making a difference in our community, that are doing things in our community to ensure that our community is strong and that we're stronger together than we are apart. It's how it's always been, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We always got each other. I'll lift you up wherever you're at. I'll lift you up because I don't need you to struggle anymore. It's uncalled for, and we don't need that anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're coming close to the end of the show, Lynn. I appreciate you coming to hang out. What else you got to say to our guests that are out there listening?
Well, if you find yourself in that struggle, just hang in there. Take every day step by step. Every day is a new day, and just know that you're gonna come out on top.
Right. You're not alone, guys. It's like I tell you guys every time. This is why I do the show, so you guys can listen to me in the car. Put me in your ear while you're working. What's great about the show now, I'm on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Dita, wherever you listen to your podcast is where I'm at now. Wherever it's at. And if you got somewhere that I'm not, message me. Let me know because I'll get it uploaded so I can get it there so I get my episodes. Episodes come out every Friday. Every Friday I try to publish an episode, even with the holidays and everything. It doesn't matter. I try to get an episode out. Because, guys, sometimes we're alone. And it sucks when we're alone. Because that's when the thoughts come back. And that's when the thoughts start creeping when you're by yourself. And we don't need that, you know. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this Friday. Thank you, Lynn, for coming to hang out.
Thank you.
Take some time out of your day to hang out with me and enjoy the time, boy. Remember, guys, go check out Rafa 180. I love my sponsor, Rafa 180, doing amazing things, have amazing products. If you're looking to try medicinal grade CBD, definitely the place to go. It's the only FDA-regulated lab in the U.S. Here in the Midwest, it's the only FDA-regulated lab processing the very best medicinal grade CBD. Go to Rafa180.com. When you go to check out with the Stone Vet USMC, get you 15% off your entire order, man. It's a hell of a deal. It's better than a 10% veteran discount, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that, guys. Remember, guys, here at the Stone Vet, we got your six.
Smoke, chill, relax. It's Friday. You ain't got a job. We gon' get high today. Dark of the flesh, the deep of the roots, green of the weed. You know it's true. Puff, puff, pass. Trying to get